Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today's video is all about having a full-on relationship with a Thai girl and the pitfalls and scams which you may become victim to. Now then, where are we? Who knows where we are? The lighthouse at the end of the bay as we go past Bali Pier. Now, if we turn around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where it is until we get there. Some guys will know where we're going, but most of you won't. So if you look down there is Bali Pier. Now to the right here is some stone steps. This is where we're going. We're going up there all the way to the top. It's a long way, it's a long climb. I'll be shattered by the time I get to the top. But this is where we're going, and I'm going to show you something and how to get somewhere that you may well not know. And while we're having the climb, the walk, we'll have a chat. So, now then, what we're talking about. So, some guys have been known to lose their entire life savings and end up joining the Pattaya Flying Club. So how do you avoid that? And what are the warning signs? To a great degree, this depends on the amount of experience you've had with relationships. I know many of you guys have had very little experience and married one of the first girls you dated back in the day in your own country, and for whatever reason that marriage ended. So you decided to give Thailand a try, as the post-marriage scene in your own country sucked. If this is you and you're inexperienced in relationships, then you are vulnerable to the charms of highly experienced Thai ladies. Now, this is only halfway up where we are now. I just thought I'd show you the view because it's particularly nice. But we have more steps to climb. We're still on the way up. So we're not there yet. Okay? So where are we up to? Now then. Now, if the girl that you've just met suspects that you have money and you're a newbie, then she'll come on strong and be all over you. Now, to a guy who has recently come out of a long-term relationship or a marriage, this full-on hugging and kissing, etc., 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 is mind-blowing. And he's thrown totally off guard, because where he's from, that type of behavior only happens when there are strong feelings within a couple. And to have it happen so quickly can only mean one thing: you have found true love. So, let's say that you decide to ignore the 3-day rule, which I believe really should be a 1-day rule for vacations especially. But you decide that you want to try and have a relationship with this newfound love of your life. Now, she'll start by trying to find out how generous and soft-hearted you are. She'll say something like, it's my sister's birthday next week, and I know I have money to buy her a present. Can you help me? Those words, help me. Remember those words, okay? Now, this is a test. It may not even be her sister's birthday. It's a test to see how easy it is to get money out of you. Now, if you make it too easy, she'll be rubbing her hands together thinking she's onto a good thing here. Another thing she'll be noticing is where you live. Do you own it or rent it? Do you have a car? Do you still have property in your own country? Do you have a big bank account? Now, when they ask questions like that, it's not a good thing. Right? It's not a good sign. Avoid answering. Keep them guessing. Now, if you look, I'm just feeding these dogs while I'm walking past, because I knew there'd be a few up here. So we're going to go down, and we're going to turn left and go down those steps. Now this is where we're going to. Now a lot of you guys will know where we are, but that letter P in front of you, the back of it, should be a clue. But we'll go down the steps. Great view from up here, absolutely great view. This is about 10 o'clock in the morning. I came early on purpose because I knew there wouldn't be many people here. In fact, I think there's only 2 couples, that's all, or a couple, 2 or 3 girls, and that's it. So you don't get any hassle. So we'll just have a little look around. You see, it's easy to get to. People used to think, well, I used to think, that you would get up directly from underneath it, but no, you have to go around the back to get to it. So we'll just have a little look, and then I'll continue with the chat. Just let me turn around and show you the full view, and then we'll carry on. Look at the view there. Good, eh? So that's where we are. I think you've seen that a few times, haven't you? But maybe not from this angle. Right, let's carry on with what we're saying. Now, once you've helped her out with her sister's birthday and bought a present for her, then there will be something else, like she can't make her motorbike payment this month. Can you help? In fact, whenever you hear the words, "Can you help me?" it always means I want money. All these small requests for help are a big warning sign, which you need to notice and be aware of, because it will only get bigger. Now the problem is that she's always been being lovey-dovey when she wants help, and after all, she is your new found love of your life. So how could you refuse and be branded a cheap Charlie? I mean, you can't have that, can you? Now once she feels confident that she's got you hooked, the help needed gets bigger. Like happened to a guy I know, when the girl said that her parents' loan mortgage to the bank was in substantial arrears, and her parents can't pay it, and the family house will be repossessed by the bank, and they'll be thrown out on the street. Can you help her parents? Now then, once you've helped to that degree, the next thing will be she'll start pulling at your heartstrings and say something like, "We love each other. Why don't we buy a house together and live together and settle down together?" Now the house thing is important, not a condo. And she'll say, because a condo's not like a real home, is it? But the truth is that a house must be, by Thai law, 51% in a Thai person's name. Cannot be in yours. Or you can only own 49% of a house. And even the slightly dodgy company things you can do are never that satisfactory. So she actually owns the house, not you. And besides that, she wouldn't let you get away with doing it in a company name, because she'd say, "Oh, you don't trust me? Oh, no," you know, that sort of nonsense. So when it gets to this stage, it really does depend on how wealthy you are. For example, I have a friend from England who has a girlfriend in Isan who's an 8+, very, very pretty girl, and only 32. But my friend is 60, and he sold his house in England and used the money to build a house in Isan for them both to live together, as he's retiring this year. When I asked him if he was worried in case the relationship didn't work out and he lost the house, he said, I don't care. It's worth taking a chance. And anyway, I only sold one of my houses in England. I've got 4 other ones which are fully paid up, no mortgage, and I rent them out, which she doesn't know about. So it's not that big a risk for me. So if it falls apart, I'm still financially okay. Now that's the right attitude, okay? Now in my opinion, a situation like that is the only way where it's okay to buy a house here. If you could walk away and it would not break you financially. The problem is that some guys put everything they have into a relationship, buying land and building a house. And of course it's always in her village. Then if the relationship goes wrong, they're destitute and they've lost their whole life savings. What on earth do you do then? You're too old to go back to your country and start again. What do you do? Well, what you do is you must listen to advice from videos like this and learn. Don't ever put yourself into that vulnerable position. Never go all in. Never risk everything. Only risk the amount of money you can walk away from, like my English friend. And it's not a serious financial problem, because there are ladies here who do this type of thing for a living. So what are the warning signs? Well, for starters, like I mentioned before, an unhealthy interest in what you still own back in your own country, like a house or a business, trying to find out how much you have in your bank here, and also the bank back in your own country if you still have one. Asking how much your pension is or your investments bring in each month. Now these are private and she shouldn't be asking. And in my opinion, the only reason she wants to know is to assess whether you are wealthy enough to be worth all the time and effort needed to relieve you of your wealth. So please guys, be very careful diving into full-on relationships here. And if you feel it's not going the right way, for example, when she's starting to ask for help too often and too much, don't be afraid to say no. That way you'll see from her reaction just how she really feels. And I don't mean the instant tears reaction, I mean the longer term real reaction, i.e. if she stays with you or just walks. It's better to lose a little and lose the girl than lose everything. That's what you need to remember. Okay? So we're back up to the top. So what did you think of that little platform? Well, a big platform really, isn't it? I think it's great. I have got a little, it's not really a story, it's more sort of information from my hairdresser. I think we've just about got time to fit it in. I've also got a couple of dogs to feed. We'll have to do that as well. So I was talking to my hairdresser friend yesterday about the subject of the video I did a couple of weeks ago about where are all the 9s and 10s. You remember that video? And where are all the good lookers these days? And my hairdresser said that many of them come into her shop and they all work in the go-go's and everything. So we had a chat about what these girls are looking for, and the first thing that all the girls said the same thing basically. The first most important thing they're looking for is the young, good-looking Korean guys who are wealthy, but they have to be wealthy, not the ones who don't have money. So my hairdresser said, well, how do you know which are wealthy and which are not? And the girls all said the same thing. They said by the clothes, the quality of the clothes that they're wearing, they can tell to a degree if they've got good money, or big money as they call it, because all Koreans don't. There, he likes that. I think the other one on the left is obviously been fed recently. He's not interested in food, but this guy likes it, and he ate that one, and then he ate another one. So I gave him some more. I came back and I emptied the whole lot. Gave him all of them. He was obviously hungry, that one, but the other one's not interested. Anyway, let's carry on with what we're saying. So having said that, guys, all is not lost, because the girls also said that the young Korean guys are only interested in the very young girls between 20 and 25, and only those who have very light coloured skin, which leaves all the darker skinned girls in their late 20s and 30s for us phalangs. It also explains why the Botox clinics are doing so well. They even have customers who are young 20-year-olds in the mid-20s having Botox to hide the slightest sign of aging, such as even the faintest crow's feet in the corner of the eyes when laughing. It's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, that's a nice little place to finish there. So, if you enjoyed the video, guys, please subscribe and like and share and ring the bell. And don't forget to have a little look at Patreon below. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you on the next video. Thanks a lot, guys.